When I first walked into the HOA community gym, I wasn't trying to make a statement. I wasn't looking for attention. All I wanted was a quiet corner, some weights, and maybe 30 minutes to clear my head. I'd just moved back into my childhood. Home, after losing my dad. His funeral had been 3 days earlier. Coming back to this neighborhood, the one I couldn't wait to leave years ago, was already a punch to the gut. But being called a nerd before I'd even touched a dumbbell? That was new. The place hadn't changed much. The gym was in the HOA clubhouse, tucked between the community pool and the tennis courts. Same beige carpet, same cracked mirror, same outdated equipment. But now it had a new centerpiece, a giant corkboard wall plastered with smiling photos of someone named Brad the Champ Ellis, a neighborhood fitness icon apparently. Flexing, boxing, kissing trophies. Everywhere I looked, there he was, shirtless and smug. I walked in wearing a plain hoodie, joggers, glasses, and my old Muay Thai gym bag. I had been out of the circuit for years, ever since I injured my shoulder during a regional qualifier. Before that, I was ranked nationally. Ow. But most people didn't know that, and I wasn't about to advertise it. "Hey, we got a new one!" someone yelled. Laughter followed. I turned and saw a group of guys near the squat rack watching me like a zoo exhibit. One of them pointed at my bag. "You bring books to the gym too? Harry Potter?" I ignored them, walked over to an empty bench. That's when I heard the second voice, female, nasal, and soaked in HOA power-tripping energy. "Excuse me, sir. We have a dress code here." I looked up. Karen Walker, HOA president. Legendary neighborhood gossip. She was wearing tight purple yoga pants, holding a clipboard, and standing like she owned the oxygen in the room. I blinked. "I'm sorry, no hoods." "No. Non-approved gym bags on the floor. Todd. And if you're not a resident, you'll need to leave." "I live on Willow Lane," I replied. "Grew up there." She looked me up and down like she didn't believe me. "Is that house with the overgrown hedges?" Of course, Brad, the shirtless poster boy, walked over right on cue. "Karen, come on, let him stay. He might be scrawny, but we need more warm-up bodies for fight night." They all laughed. I didn't flinch. Karen smirked. "Fine, but if you break a sweat on the machines, clean them. We run a respectable facility here." I nodded, biting down the heat in my chest. I wasn't here to make enemies. I was here because my brain was drowning in grief, and this was the only place with iron plates and silence. For the next few days, I came in at the same time, mid-morning, just to avoid the crowd, but they always found me. Karen was always there, doing stretches and fake managing things. Brad and his group of gym brothers never missed an opportunity to comment. "You should train your spine first," Nerd one said. "Careful, glasses might break if you try to lift that," another joked. "You do Sudoku between sets?" It was all childish, beneath me. But that doesn't mean it didn't sting. I told myself to ignore it, push through, just like in fight camp. Let your breath control your brain, but then it escalated. One afternoon, Karen actually came over while I was mid-set and tapped me on the shoulder. "You can't keep doing overhead presses with that much weight," she said. "It's a liability." I stared at her. "I've been lifting longer than you've been running this gym. Don't get smart with me. If you don't like our rules, maybe this isn't the community for you." Brad added from across the room. "Yeah, bro. You maybe go back to the chess club." I finished my set in silence. But I knew what I had to do. I didn't want to. I really didn't. But they were begging for it. So the next morning I asked one of the HOA event managers about the upcoming charity fight night. Every year, the HOA held a little boxing exhibition at the clubhouse. Residents signed up for 3-round matches, mostly for laughs and fundraising. But apparently it had become Brad's playground. 3 years running, he'd won every fight. Karen called him the Community Combat King. I nearly threw up. "Anyone can sign up?" I asked. The event guy, Derek, looked confused. Yeah, you gotta register by Friday." I nodded. "Put me down." "Name's Kyle." "Sure," he asked. "Brad's undefeated, I'm sure." Word spread like fire. By that afternoon, Karen stormed over to my bench again. Are you trying to be funny? Nope. You think you can just sign up and embarrass our charity event? I think I can box. You're gonna regret this, she hissed. Brad wasn't far behind. Hope you bought a mouthguard for eyes. Hope you bought humility. I shot back. The gym got quiet after that, over the next 2 weeks. I trained early, late, alone, quietly. I didn't show off. I didn't talk trash, but I prepared. Karen tried everything to block me. She reported me for bringing in outside food when I drank my post-workout shake. She tried to ban my gym bag. Even told the HOA board I was being aggressive to other residents, but she had no idea I'd already printed out every rule in the HOA book. I followed every one. She had nothing. By the day of the fight, half the neighborhood had heard about it. Posters were up. Brad versus Kyle, Champ versus Chump. They called me the nerd in all caps on the flyer. I didn't care. Let them laugh, because I knew what was coming. I'd watched Brad spar. He was all show, swinging wild, no footwork. He was strong, sure, but he was sloppy. And I'd been sharpening my silence like a sword. That night, the gym was packed. Lights, music, Karen in the front row with her clipboard like it was a VIP pass. I walked in with a plain black hoodie and took a seat in the back. Brad was already bouncing around, showing off, throwing fake combos in the air. The crowd cheered when he walked in. When they called my name, it was quiet. One guy in the back yelled, "Knock his glasses off, Brad." I stepped into the ring and looked across at the man who'd spent weeks laughing at me. I smiled because in that moment I wasn't grieving. I wasn't weak. I wasn't bullied. I was home. The bell rang. Round 1. Brad came in fast, too fast. He tried to overwhelm me, throwing wide hooks and smiling like it was already over. I ducked, slipped, let him burn energy. His punches were loud, but empty. Off stuff. The crowd cheered for him at first. Karen was standing now, clapping and shouting, "Let's go, champ." I didn't throw a punch for the first 30 seconds. Just moved. Watched. Waited. Brad got cocky. He started taunting me. "Come on, nerd, hit me. Let's see those reading muscles." Then he lunged with a wild right. That's when I struck. One step to the inside. Quick left jab to the nose. Bang. He stumbled. Silence, then murmurs. He came at me. Again, swinging harder. I let him commit. Then another jab. Another. He was off balance. 10 seconds left in the round. I slid in and dropped a clean body shot that made him grunt and backpedal. Bell rang. First round mine, I walked to my corner. No coach, just breathing. Karen's smile was gone. Round 2. Brad was mad now, and tired. You could see it. His footwork was slower. His punches didn't snap. They lunged. I kept calm. Tim chased me. Then halfway through the round, I countered. With a short cross to his cheek, and a 1-2 combo that rattled him. The crowd gasped. By now, people weren't cheering him as loudly. I saw neighbors, ones who'd laughed at me, now watching with wide eyes. Final seconds of round 2. Brad tried to tackle me with desperation. He slipped, hit the mat. They called it a slip, but everyone saw it. Karen stood up and yelled, "Ref, that was illegal." Ref didn't buy it. Round 2, mine again. Now Brad looked nervous. Final round, he tried to fake confidence, bouncing, yelling, hyping up the crowd. But I stayed locked in. First minute, we traded light blows. Then he missed a haymaker, and I stepped inside. 3 quick shots. Jab, hook, uppercut. He fell flat on his back. Gasps, silence. Ref started counting. Brad sat. Up, dazed. Made it to his feet at 8. They let it go on, but he was done. I didn't even need to knock him out again. I just coasted the final 30 seconds. Jabs, footwork control. Bell rang. Ref raised my hand. And for the first time since my dad's funeral, I smiled. The crowd erupted. Not for Brad, for me. Karen stormed into the ring, waving her clipboard, yelling about bias and disrespect. She shouted that the fight was unfair. Derek, the event guy, calmly walked up and said, "Karen, he won. Sit down." She left the gym that night, red-faced and humiliated. A week later, HOA board voted to remove her from her gym oversight duties. Apparently, dozens of neighbors had filed complaints about favoritism, hostility, and targeting residents like me. Brad disappeared from the gym for a month. I kept showing up, quiet, focused. People started coming up to me, shaking my hand, asking for training tips. No more laughs, no more nerd jokes, just respect. And for the first time in years, I felt like I belonged.